Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. Today we're going to talk about the P.U.N.K Therions deck. I've been looking forward to play this deck for a very long time, and now that we finally have it in TCG, I'm super excited to play it in real life events. So, in this video, it won't be a definitive deck profile, this is just ideas on how I want to build the deck, and I'll give you different options and variants that you can maybe include in your version. This is still a 40 card deck list that you can play right away, but I have other things that I wanted to test and show it to you. So let's get right into the deck profile. So for the P.U.N.K engine, I decided to play triple Salmon, triple Italy, triple Ogre Dance, 2 Foxy Tune, and 1 Deer Notes. So I think this is the best way to play the engine, which is to maximize any 1 card starter, which is those 9 cards in the deck. And then I play, so the 2 Foxy Tunes, they're not 1 card starters because you need another name in hand for it to be full combo. And then the 1 Deer Notes, I almost wanted to play 2 Deer Notes because going turn 3, you really, like, the deck doesn't have that great of a follow-up, so having the second one would be good to have another like synchro play or something. But the thing is, in a non-pure version, I think just 1 is enough. For the Therion part of the deck, I chose to play 2 King, 2 Lily, 1 Duke, 1 Bull, and 1 Reaper, and also triple Field Spell, triple Engine, and 1 Cross. So for this ratio, I thought about playing 3 at first, and I tested with 3, but the problem of the deck is you get a lot of hands where you only see Therion cards and then you break and you cannot play at all. So I thought I'm going to try with OCG ratios, which is usually 2 and 2, and that worked better for me. Usually you want to see 1 Therion name, which is any Therion name in hand, and then mill some or send it from hand to grave with Foxy Tune, which is where this comes in most of the time. And the thing is, you really don't want to have too many in hand, so I thought 2 and 2 was the right number for me. You can probably change around, maybe I'm going to try with 3 and 2, but this is going pretty well for me for now. And for the other names, those are really good utility, and they're all in their own way very important for the deck. For example, Duke is Slight Psychic, which is amazing. Ein is a warrior, so you can equip back the Deer Notes, which is a really good play on turn 3 because it floats into other P.U.N.Ks. And also Reaper is really interesting against like back row decks, and overall it's a very good card. Those two especially, just because they're level 7 and you can go into Burn the Floor. And the only card I'm not so sure about in the deck list right now is Cross. It is pretty good, but usually you side it out going second, and it kind of sucks when you have to go second game 1. It's like when it's good, it's very good because it's an interruption in the format of a non-monster, which is it makes you less lose to Droplets and Dark Roller, which are really good against the deck. So I don't know if I still keep it because it tends to be a little bricky. Technically, if you're in a really good position, you can add it back with this, which is really nice if you can't finish the game right away. But I'm not so sure about keeping Cross in the main deck. If I have to choose a card to remove to play something else, it would probably be Theorem Cross. And for the other cards that we play into the deck, there are 1 Plague Spreader Zombie. So I'm trying the version with Calamity right now, and Plague Spreader Zombie surprisingly is really good even if you don't make Calamity, just because it's level 2 tuner, it's dark, and also it's really easy to link climb using it if you go second. I'm also playing triple Tactic. This card is absolutely amazing in the format. This deck is really fragile to interruption, so having a card that lets you hopefully draw into something better is really nice. Also going second, it's absolutely amazing just to take a monster and continue to play, which is like with link climbing, sometimes synchroing and stuff. And going first, if you have 1 extender, you get hand trapped, you can remove the starter and you're fine for the whole game. In my opinion, the worst effect of this card is the draw 2 because it's really random, but I think it's still a card I would play right now just because it's really good in the meta. And also we play 1 Call by the Grave just because, yes, the deck is really weak to hand traps, so you gotta have protection. And for hand traps, I chose to play triple Ash, triple Valor, triple Crow. So it's kind of weird because right now Valor is just worse Imperm overall, but in this deck having a monster you can add with Chaos Ruler is really good to have an extra plus. Also the fact that it's level 1 tuner, it comes in very handy to go into some synchro plays. and the rest is like really good, of course. DD Crow I feel like is mandatory in this deck because you sometimes really need the extra dark name in the grave, and also just DD Crow is really good right now, which is super convenient. But yeah, that's a 40 card deck list. Let's get right into the extra deck. For the extra deck, I play 1 Hulk, 1 Unicorn, and 1 Access Code Talker for the links. The only one you really need and you're going to make every game is Hulk. The rest are just good utility cards, but they could be something else. For the Synchro, I have 1 Formula Synchron, 1 Chaos Ruler, 1 Hot Red, 1 Burn the Floor, 1 Psychic and Punisher, and 1 Calamity. So this is the Calamity version, so I've been training recently, and it's like so-so, I think. It is really good against matchups where they cannot do anything, like Despia. Against Despia it's really interesting, but against some of the decks they can play through it, and even if they can put up a small board, it's really bad for you because the follow-up in this deck, as I said earlier, is really bad. So you really want to make it like wisely. It is not a card you just go spam to FTK because they have a lot of ways to play through this. And also, setting it up in the P.U.N.K engine is really easy, but it takes a lot of resources. So you gotta really think about when you want to make this card, when not to make it. It could be very damaging to go into it blindly, and just like you play against Sword Soul and it can still put up a board and maybe even out yours. So really hard to know when to make this card. I might move away from this version just because it's too uncertain and you are not making it that much. But you can sometimes try your luck and like go with it turn 1 blindly and see, because sometimes it will just cheese the game for you and you just win right away. But I'm not too big of a fan of this gamble. Other than that, Hot Red, you rarely make it game 1 because you have better interruptions, like in the form of Burn the Floor usually. But this is really interesting game 2 or 3 after siding, when you can siding cards that like are chainable to Dark Ruler, and this will help you negate the Dark Ruler, which is really good against your deck. And then for the Xyz, I play 1 Melee of the Tree, 1 Zombie Vampire, 1 number 90, 1 number 38, Dingirsu, and Zeus. So I really like this part of the deck because it's the toolbox option of the deck. You have Xyz 8s, which are really amazing. 2 of them are just good negates overall, good interruption. And also 38 is really good in the deck just because it protects your Formula Synchron by battle if you don't have the field spell. And also, very interesting thing, this doesn't negate the activation, it negates the effect, so you can negate Branded Fusion under Branded Lost, which is really good to know. Dingirsu is also super interesting because turn 2, if you really want to make something that outs the board, instead of going with Chaos Ruler and a tuner, you can make Chaos Ruler and Foxy Tune. It goes into this, send something, and then it protects itself to go into Zeus. And also, what's a very good interaction is that Dingirsu is a machine, so if you have regulars, you can still equip Dingirsu after the battle phase. And then we have cards like Melee of the Tree. This card, you don't make it very often, but you make it when you get hand trapped, when you go like Italy, Effect of Ammon, it gets hand trapped, and then you can go into this to see your P.U.N.K engine, or you can make it turn 3 to revive 1 Lily and bring back your P.U.N.K engine live if you have something, if you don't have any other names in hand. And Zombie Vampire is a weird card for me because it can't unbrick you, like it makes bad hands way better because you mill 4 more in addition to the 5 you milled with Chaos Ruler, but it is also very risky. That can, like, using this effect can lose you the game if you play against Tenny, if you play against Despia or something like this. So you gotta be really also very careful when you use this card. Against some decks, you almost always want to make it. If you play From the Wrist, for example, they don't have any good cards that have effects in grave, maybe only Dreaming Town, but you would rather have them have Dreaming Town engraved than Dreaming Town on field. And also, like, milling 1's tree will sometimes win you the game right away because they don't have any access to Stree. The only option they have to bring back Stree is Mega Ryza, but if they lose some of their starters and stuff, it's just better for you overall. So Zombie Vampire in certain matchups is really interesting. I would not cut this card. It's really good options. That's it for the extra deck. Then I'm going to show you options you can go into instead of this version. So for other options in the deck, you can try to play 1 Shadaxai, the 3rd Foxy Tune, one Amazing Dragon, and one Rising card. So this is most likely what I'm going to try after the Calamity version. I think this is really interesting to play into the deck because it plays into other kinds of interaction, and also it makes the deck more consistent overall. So what it does is that if you play Shalaxai, the Foxy Tune becomes a 1-card starter as well. So you have now 12 1-card starters, and a very good extension to go into if you get hand trapped. And also the option of when you do your normal combo, instead of summoning another tuner with health, you can special summon Shalaxai, and during your opponent's turn use the effect and go into Amazing Dragon, which is really interesting form of interruption because it bounces up to 3 cards usually. And also this gives you a very interesting way to finish games turn 3 because of the effect that lets your monster attack twice. I think overall it's the better version, but right now I've been trying with Calamity because it seemed really powerful. But I think just because of the consistency boost, this is what I'm going to move into. If you do happen to try the version with more punks, I think it's fair to try a version with also more Therions, just because if you have more consistency with the punk, you can let yourself play more Therions just because you want to see them more often in your hand, so you can like combo with both engine at once. And there's another card also I really wanted to play either in the main or side. It's going to be Forbidden Droplet. It is a really good form of interruption. It's something that really helps break boards, and also it's a very good outlet to put Theorem cards in grave, which is what I said earlier. It really helps with that, so you want to have your Theorem cards in grave and not in hand, and this really helps putting from one place to another, and also at the same time breaking the board. So the other options I wanted to show you are extra deck options this time, and they are IP Masquerena. I've been seeing it a lot in OCG deck lists, and it's a very useful card when you have to play weird turn 1s where you play through hand traps, and you really want to have, for example, when you go into Zombie Vampire, you really want to have both materials in grave, so you can special summon back the Chaos Ruler, and Masquerena really helps with that. Also, it's a form of interruption because you can go into Unicorn. The other card that I've been wanting to try, and I've been seeing in deck list, is a Selene. And what Selene does essentially is just easier link climb, so you can go Hulk, Veiler, Selene, access code, and just one Hulk lets you do the whole combo. And if you, so what you have to know is like, if you play Selene, you probably don't play Unicorn, and if you don't play Unicorn, you don't play Masquerena, and the other way around. So if you play Masquerena, you probably wouldn't play Selene because you don't have, like, this will take the space of Unicorn instead, so you probably don't have the space for both. And the other option I really want to try, and I've been seeing it in the deck list also, and I think it's a very interesting thing you can try, is maybe instead of going into Formula, you can go into Riser, and Riser sends a level 4, which is usually Fairy Tail Snow, but it could be some other cards in the side deck like Token Collector or Necroworld Banshee, which of course you can't use them this turn, but it's like nice follow-up or a good interruption for next turn. So what it does essentially is like, if you have a level 8 on field, which happens a lot, or something like Regulus, or another Therions that you haven't used, or that just stays on field, this will send, so you make this during your opponent's turn with Hulk, and then you're going to send a level 4, this becomes a level 3, and then you can quick synchro into 8 plus 3, that's 11, and what's 11? It is the Amazing Dragon, which is an interesting form of disruption that you can choose to play, and it's also an option that I've been considering. Thank you very much, that's it for the deck list. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or like any other good suggestion for options, you can leave it in the comments. I will be looking forward to seeing your response. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.